spams and scams, OS upgrade experiences, and new features. This is MacVoices. Today's edition of MacVoices is supported by MacVoices Featured Gear, like the JBL Flip 6 Bluetooth speaker. My most used portable Bluetooth speaker, the Flip 6, delivers plenty of power, great battery life, and most importantly, great sound. Check it out and see if your Bluetooth speaker matches up. Find the links at macvoices.com/featured gear, all one word, featured gear. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is MacVoices Live. It's Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, whatever time that is, wherever you are. You could be with us on YouTube at youtube.com/MacVoicesTV, throwing your comments and ideas and thoughts into the chat so we can react to them or argue with you in kind of a one-way fashion, but it can be a discussion or an argument, and that makes it fun. At least that's what I think. Have a number of things to touch on because we are 1 week now post-Apple event. We are a few days ahead of the first iPhones being delivered, the new iPhones being delivered. So we have a lot to talk about. But a couple other things, too, that I want to make sure we get to. But first, we're going to find out who else here, and then we're going to dive in. So starting off, as always, as usual, David Ginsburg up in the top left of my screen. David, good to have you.
Good to be here, Chuck. I'm glad to be able to talk about the post event and getting ready for an Apple Watch and an iPhone 15 Pro Max too coming this Friday. So we'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Eric Bolden is here with no flower in the back of him, just that peaceful glade of trees. Eric, good to have you.
Have to do that Zen relax before the macOS update. Getting ready. It's a nice month. Everything coming out. It's like spring in the fall.
Or Christmas in the fall, depending on how you look at it. Yeah.
It's like spring in reverse.
Ouch. That was terrible, man. Brian Flanigan-Arthurs is here as well. Brian, good to have you. How are things going?
Doing great. Hope things are well with you and everyone else. Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you. First tie of the evening.
Yes, thank you.
Underpants.
Sorry, Jeff. That's what happens when you're late. Not sporting a tie tonight, Mr. Ben Roethig. Ben, good to have you.
Well, I had to be upstaged by Webb today.
Well, as I recall, last week or the week before, you said you wanted to be Webb when you grow up. So,
Yeah.
So take notes.
But as I said as a kid, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Speaking of a Toys R Us kid, Jim Ray is here calling in from space. Jim, good to have you.
I bought nothing. I installed nothing.
Okay. Well, that's all for tonight, folks. We'll see you next week. Looking very, very spiffed up, Mr. Webb Bixby has joined us. Webb, it's great to have you.
Chuck, good to be here. And yeah, today was executive committee day, so I had to put on full body armor.
So I have to ask one question of you, Webb. And this is a serious question. Is your video flipped?
I was wondering that also.
You know what? It might be. I was messing around with it over the weekend. Let me unflip it. So
I'm just used to seeing the spinning globe on the other side.
Carry on. I'll be with you in a second. So
okay, no problem.
I just thought it was my astigmatism.
Speaking of that,
while Webb is flipping, Jeff Gamet has joined us as well. Jeff, good to have you.
It's good to be here. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. In my defense, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. That's all I remember from the song.
Mm-hmm. There's more to the song.
There is. The same. Yeah,
it goes on. It's like do 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 do, but I don't know what those words are.
Okay. So now web is back to normal. Now the world is correct.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. So I'm going to start off with another one of our scams and what is this? I can't even remember now what it is, but the scam thing that we do here whenever we see something interesting. Just today, I logged into Facebook 3 different times, and I got a notification saying that you're going to love this. I mean, this is just unbelievable. That as part of a settlement, Costco has to provide a MacBook Air to every household in the United States.
Yeah, right.
Fill this form out to get yours.
Oh my Lord.
And it's like, okay, I actually did double check, not for every US household, but just to see if there was anything out there. And it's not. So folks, if you see this pop up on Facebook, please ignore it. That just, I don't even know what to say. It's just so ridiculous, but
yeah, it's the new African prince.
They're paying for all this MacBook Airs with the $4 they're going to charge all Facebook users.
Well, I don't know. It just struck me as...
and putting "I do not consent" to stuff on your Facebook wall is totally binding.
So just do not, just in case. I mean, it's the old thing of, if it's too good to be true, it probably is, or isn't. So the second thing is kind of the obvious question for everyone. Yesterday, we got updates to a lot of, not every single Apple operating system, but most of them. So I'm curious to see who all installed what, and if you're having any problems or surprises, good or bad.
I installed actually the RC on Sunday night because I wanted to be ready. So I got anxious. So I installed everything on Sunday, including WatchOS and tvOS and iOS, iPadOS. It's all installed. I didn't do Sonoma. HomePod OS, yeah, I did that later. I got that done as well. So far, no problems. It's pretty flawless. So I mean, I knew the release candidate was going to be the final version. It obviously seemed that way as we got towards Monday. So I guess that's so far so good. No complaints. I didn't do Sonoma. We'll wait for that because that'll be next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even though on Sonoma, I might wait a few days because even though my most favorite application, Audio Hijack, Rogue Amoeba, said that they've got the preliminary approval of that it's Sonoma compatible, I might want to wait a minute or two.
Okay. Well, Eric, you said you were up late getting yours done.
Yeah, I figured why not do everything. So I started with my phone. Then I realized I couldn't talk to anybody while I was doing that. And I thought, I'll just go for a vacation day. So I took 4 hours off. And then that, of course, meant that I could do my iPad. And then I realized once my phone was done that, oh, hey, I got to update my watch. So then I updated the watch. And then I thought, well, while I'm waiting for all of this stuff, I could watch TV, which then reminded me, oh, I could update the TV, which then meant I couldn't watch TV anymore. And waited, that all finished. And then I realized that my TV had no sound because I needed to update the speakers. So then I went to go do that. And then I couldn't figure out how to update the speakers from my phone. And I fussed with that a bit, rebooted everything. Then realized that my iPad could see the speakers and wanted to update them and saw the update. So from my iPad, I could update the speakers. Everything updated. So far, I've really only had one issue, and that was with the iPad. I've got like 90,000 photos I have in my photo library. And when I select pictures and I try to add them to a shared album, it doesn't work on my iPad, but it does work from my phone. So I may just need to like wipe and reinstall my iPad at some point, or maybe I need to upgrade my iPad. Yeah.
Solves all the problems.
Upgrade as in software or upgrade as in a new
Well,
iPad?
like a new iPad.
Hardware.
Okay. All right. Just want to be sure. Just want to clarify.
Yeah.
Wait a few months, you'll have a new one. That'll be new.
Oh, true. And then I will have a reason to do it.
Exactly.
As if you
I
knew
like
the
that.
reason.
So it's good to have a little extra justification.
I will throw one thing out that I'm making an article of the day today on the MacVoices social media platforms, but there was a question over not being able to find people or pets. And basically they said, just give it a little while, that things have to, I guess, do whatever behind the scenes magic for it all to work. So whether that has anything to do with it, I don't know, because that tip was specifically for using the finding people and pets.
Yeah, I thought I read that it had to re-index the photo file. So so that's what you're waiting on.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's machine learning, not magic.
Yeah. So that may be part of your thing, Eric. I don't know. Or you just get a new iPad.
Well, and I forgot to look for people and pets, and I just did, and the cat is right there.
Okay, well then you're welcome. We solved your problem right there.
Yep, I found them.
Brian, have you been brave and installed anything?
A couple of items. One in particular I've held off on though, just because the phone is for me is more mission critical. I'm holding off probably until a point update, so 17.1 be more comfortable. With regards to iPad and Apple TV, I updated both of those. iPad yesterday evening, and I haven't played around with it too much except for the lock screen. Really enjoyed doing that originally on the iPhone last year, and so I was excited to be able to set that up this year on the iPad. And then Apple TV this morning I updated, but I haven't been able to jump into features. But just seeing the icons and being able to more screen real estate of what you're getting on that home screen is really nice. But I'm excited to check out the FaceTime and see how that works out. And then I wasn't sure if I could update the watch yet. I wouldn't mind. That would be less mission critical. But my understanding, thank you, Jeff, also in the chat, who mentioned you got to wait till iOS first, and then you can update the WatchOS. So it'll be a little while, but I'll get that updated.
Okay, good. Since we're running the gamut, let's just go for it. Ben, you?
I am up to date on everything. Honestly, look, it's really stable. It's literally been the same version number of the operating system since the last beta release. But now that I have all the apps, it's fantastic. Interactive widgets are great. I have 1Password, setting up basically every site I can as a passkey. It's so far the iOS 17 generation has lived up to expectations.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Jim, you said you installed nothing, so I'm going to assume that you installed nothing.
I did get an email from the company that makes my diabetes monitoring, blood sugar monitoring thing, and they've got an app that reads that, and they said, don't install iOS 17. But Eric has the same piece of equipment, and he installed it, and he said it was fine.
Okay, good. Good. So you haven't installed anything yet?
I haven't. I'm just lazy. And it hasn't been out a year, so
yeah. Webb, since you had executive council day, I'm gathering that you didn't have time to do any installations.
I haven't done anything yet. I have 2 iPhones, an iPad, and several Apple TVs. Haven't done it yet. it was interesting. I was watching a video today from Joe Kissell, and somebody was interviewing him. Who was that? Oh, it was you. And I was watching that this morning, and I used to always wait, especially for an OS update, the Mac OS update, a little bit on the iOS too, is that, I'll wait for the 17.01, I normally kind of wait for that. And Joe was saying you really don't need to do that anymore. And I do agree that everything that I've heard about iOS 17, it seems to be pretty well vetted. And all the vendors seem to be pretty well vetted. So now I'm probably more in the Jim camp. I'm just a little bit lazy. I haven't done it yet. I'm going out of town next week, and my phone is kind of critical for me for that trip next week. So I'm a little scared to do that, but I probably will. I'll probably do it this weekend sometime.
Okay, I'm going to save the question I have for a little later on that. Jeff, last but not least, how about you? Have you done anything, or are you holding off, or have you been lazy?
I was checking the servers in the minutes leading up to 10 a.m. Pacific time, so that as soon as the updates were available, I could start installing. Now, my strategy is I install on one device at a time. So that way I still have the other devices if something should go wrong. I had an interesting thing happen, which is just, I'm sure it was just timing, because you know how Apple does the thing where the updates are being pushed out from different servers in different areas. The Apple TV update showed up for me first. So I just went ahead and started installing that. And that one, it doesn't matter if I have other stuff installing, because it's not like I have mission critical communication issues. But then WatchOS showed up, but iOS hadn't shown up. So I couldn't move forward until iOS finally showed up. And several minutes later it did. And so I went ahead and updated my phone. And interesting thing is, because WatchOS had told me that its update was available, but I had to install iOS first, and iOS wasn't available. When it was available and installed, WatchOS, or the Watch app, remembered that I had been trying to install WatchOS, and it picked it up and continued on with the process. So I didn't have to go back and tell it, hey, now go ahead and start downloading WatchOS. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I do not have auto updates turned on for anything. So I know it wasn't an auto update thing happening. So anyhow, by the end of the afternoon, I had my iPhone, my Apple Watch, Apple TV, all three iPads updated, and both HomePod minis and the OG HomePod. So everything that could be updated was. And here's an interesting thing that I have discovered, which to me seems like a bad decision unless I'm completely missing a setting somewhere. You know how we now get to switch from saying "Hey S Lady" to just "S Lady." That doesn't work across everything. So until they get that updated, I have to know what devices I can say S Lady or Hey S Lady to. Specifically, my HomePods do not support saying S Lady. Still needs the H. So for now, I'm just still in Hey S Lady mode. And unless someone knows of some setting that I've completely missed where I can turn that on for the HomePods, that's a really bad UI and UX decision. Apple should have just simply held it until it could be consistent across all the devices.
Yeah, not only that, but Apple, please give us a HomePods app. You need it.
Oh, holy forking shirt balls, right?
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah. Chuck, when macOS Wine Country comes out, I don't think I can upgrade because I have a couple mission critical tools that will not run under the new Mac OS, and I seriously doubt that they will even have betas available when the new Mac OS drops. So this will be the first time in a long time where when a major Mac OS rev comes out, I can't touch it.
Is it an app we know?
It's the plugins that I use in the Mail app. So I'm using mail tags. That's the big thing that I need. Mm-hmm. And so what's the company? Squaresoft, something like that. They've been working on a beta of their own email application that takes all of the components, all the plugins and stuff that they've created, and builds them into a new email app. And since I rely so much on their tools, that alone is enough to keep me from updating. So hopefully they'll get a beta out soon. They originally had planned on having a beta out months ago, and here we are, a week away from the OS release, and nothing in sight. Web, thank you, Smallcube. So yes, Smallcube Mail Suite. That's critical to my my business workflow.
At the risk of sounding like I'm promoting MacVoices, I just today published the second part of the interview Webb was talking about Joe about his new Take Control book, Take Control of Sonoma. And he goes into some of that, exactly why small cubed stuff can't work under Sonoma, and kind of what they're doing about it, or what they're trying to do about it. So, and
I believe he is, I think Joe actually has a beta of Smallcube's app.
Yeah, I know he's been working with them. I don't think I'm sure we're not telling any tales out of school, because he mentioned it. So yeah, if you may want to go back and listen to that interview, folks, if you have that same problem, because Joe has something of a love-hate relationship with Apple Mail, mostly hate, I think,
like so many of us.
Yeah. No.
I mean, Apple Mail could turn any of us into Darth Vader.
Today's Mac Voices is supported by the MacVoices Featured Gear pick, the JBL Flip 6. I've owned several iterations of this portable Bluetooth speaker, and this is the best yet, with an updated two-way speaker system. If you're out and about, 12 hours of playtime will keep you listening longer, and the IP67 rating means it can go anywhere you go without fear of dust or water interrupting your listening. While so many Bluetooth speakers just sit or stand, the included lanyard allows you to hang the Flip 6 for even more versatility. And of course, the sound quality is excellent, which is the most important thing about any portable speaker, or any speaker. Get the links at macvoices.com/featuredgear, all one word, featured gear. macvoices.com/featuredgear. Well, I did not install anything. I stuck to my guns and figured I was going to wait till today, since it seemed to be going smoothly, and then frankly just got too busy and couldn't afford to shut anything down. So maybe tomorrow or sometime by the end of the week, I'll be doing it. Definitely on the phone, in preparation for the new phones coming Friday. One thing that I did want to mention is that I decided to try the double tap thing on your Apple Watch with my Watch 7. And I've been surprised at how well it works. I would give it about 95% success rate when when an alert pops up, because I started setting alarms just as a test. And about 95% of the time, I won't say every single time, but just about every time, I can do a double tap with my thumb and my forefinger, and it selects the dialogue. So it works. It may work even better with the new watch and with the new WatchOS.
With that processor, what was it, the 9 zip processor?
S9, yeah, something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just a very pleasant
just
surprise.
For clarification, you're using double tap on Series 8 Apple Watch?
Series 7.
Series 7. I completely misunderstood that. I thought the double tap was only for WatchOS 9.
So Jeff, let me clarify at least my experience. I don't know if double tap is a major selection in the new version of the OS for the new watch, but it is in accessibility. I think I only tried the double taps, but there's a clench and I forget what other. So that's the only one I've tried.
There's the clench, there's the pinch,
or maybe
and those have been in accessibility already.
Yeah.
I'm going to go look now and see what all is there.
Yeah, I did not even know that they were there because, and I think it's fascinating that Apple has brought this more mainstream, but it does work. So folks, if you have an older Apple Watch, try it and see, first of all, see if it works for you. I think it probably will. See if you like it. That's another question. But I'm kind of loving it because that means I don't have to reach over with my other hand. I can just do tap, tap, and it goes away or selects it. So
okay. I think what you're using are the accessibility features that were already there, independently of what will be exclusive to WatchOS 9. And you are right. They're very cool features. It's accessibility features are something that I think everyone should go look at because there's some really cool stuff in there that that can improve anyone's productivity.
Yeah. Let's see. Next up, next is the obvious one. New phones get here Friday. And I'm kind of curious to see who ordered what. And almost as importantly, what accessories are you looking for, plan to get? Cases, screen protection, any of the new mounts for nightstand mode, or I forget what they call it, night display or whatever. And Webb, I want to start with you because I know you usually carry 2 phones. You were talking about them being mission critical. So you will will your phones get here on Friday before you leave?
They will not. It was middle of October, which, like I said, is fine because I got some business travel and I don't want to be experimenting with a new phone on these trips. Heading to our nation's capital next week, so for meetings. So I did order the 2 phones. They come in about the middle of October 9th, I think. But I did order 2 new leather cases from the place that I've spoke to before. What is the name of this thing? Blackbrook or something like that. So anyway, the new cases came in. Don't have the phones yet, but I still have the new cases for the iPhone 15. So
yeah, good. Who else ordered?
Oh, you already know. I ordered. I got the 15 Pro Max in midnight. So it was midnight the blue. No, is that the midnight? Yes.
Titanium blue.
Titanium blue.
Or blue titanium.
Yes, thank you. I was up early morning on the last Friday, and as we had, many of us talked about, it was a bit of a challenge at first because Apple wasn't ready, as they always aren't. When they say 7 a.m. Central Time, it's 7:30. So I just kept at it, and I know some of you went on the web, some of you went on the app like I did. I stuck with the app and just kept trying and got in, and we're going to have it on September 22nd, as they said it'll be released. So I have that coming, as well as the Series 9 Apple Watch is coming as well, and I'm looking forward to that and seeing that it'd be interesting to see. I started looking at the accessibility thing with the 7 to see where that goes, but that'll be interesting to see how it works on the 9 that's built into it now that you could use it right out of the box. Cases, I got some cases I'm going to probably do some reviews on. Got a couple of cases here. I did get the USB-C to Lightning. I have it in my hand here right now. that allows you to put USB-C on one end and it's got the Lightning on the other. Interesting. They used the what do you call the corded,
braided.
the braided
cable.
cord. That's it. Thank you. So because that's what's going to come with the cable that comes with the iPhone is going to be a braided cable now with USB-C to USB-C. So, so far that's all I've got. I'm not going to touch the AirPods. I think that's kind of a bummer that you have to go through those hoops, as we know they aren't going to sell a case for it, nor all you have to do is upgrade, and I think that's kind of silly. So,
On the case,
yeah, you can go to repair. I know that we can do that, but
but there was question about compatibility. I have confirmed, although I cannot share my source, that the cases are compatible. So you can get the USB-C case and use it with your Lightning AirPods. There's no problem with doing that at all.
It wasn't
Interesting.
like $99. I think you have to pay.
Yeah, $99.
Oh, no, wait a minute. How are you going? They said Apple would not sell the USB-C case
Through repair.
If you go to through the Apple Repair Program through that website, and then choose the lost or need to replace option, whatever it is, and then choose the USB-C case, you can buy it, $99.
Okay.
But you can't just go to the regular Apple online store and pick it as an accessory, like
Right.
you can with some of the other AirPods cases.
Right.
This Mac Voices Live panel is back next time to finish up the conversation about AirPods Pro, talk about why you might want to rethink using your Wyze security cameras, and discuss the reasons behind the Las Vegas casino hacks. That's next time on Mac Voices. I'm Chuck Joyner. I'll see you then. As always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.